Today I'd like to talk about distributed database systems. Now, distributed database systems are kind of unusual in the world today, although they grew up in a time when um, businesses were trying to consolidate data from several different sites. And the key part of a distributed database system is both the database and the database management system will reside in various locations, and then they will be overlaid through a distributed database management system that manages all of the disparate databases that are in the system. And where you see a system like this happening is a company that has a sales office in one location, and it'll have a manufacturing office in another location, a marketing office in another, and various places around the country or around the world will have their own distributed database system, and in reality, their own database management system that will work with their own data. So not only is the input output or the online transaction processing piece of it distributed, but the data is also distributed and managed then by a distributed database management system. Now, one of the things that it's not is it is not loosely connected in the data, meaning that the distributed database management system works to keep all of the data in sync at all of the locations at all times. So those reports that you would normally get out of an online transaction processing system appear to be homogeneous, appear to be all coming from one system, because the master database management system that's managing all of it keeps everything collated and working online. So you have a system that is robust in a lot of ways and is working as though it were one system. Now, it's used to create data, it's used to update data, it's used to delete data. It can synchronize the database periodically. So what I'm talking about now is the distributed database management system that overlies them all. That database management system ensures that the data is modified at any one site gets universally updated so you can see it. It's designed to deal with multiple database platforms. So you could have Oracle in one, and you could have SQL Server in another, and you could see the data as though it were still one system. Another thing that advantage of it is that the overall database, distributed database management system, maintains the confidentiality and integrity of the database. Now, why would you ever want to do this? It's an interesting exercise in database management systems to understand why you would want to leave your transaction processing system that processes sales in one place, and your manufacturing and bill of material in another place, and keep them both functioning as sales systems and manufacturing systems in two different places. And the reason why is if you have a system, if you have a company that has a system in one place that is specialized, it's been built up just for their purpose, it sometimes becomes a whole lot easier just to connect that system to a distributed management system and then tie that data in to the rest of the other disparate locations and systems. You find this a lot when a company will purchase other companies, and they'll have all of their systems up and running. One way to put them all together is to overlay a distributed management system over all of the systems. So you'd have a distributed management system also when you need to share data. So here you've got a relational database likely in a location, but that data needs to be shared. And let's say you're not into doing data warehousing yet. That system can be shared in its regular online transaction processing method by just overlaying the distributed database management system. Now, one thing about the distributed system is that it can do both online transaction processing and it can do online analytical processing as well. Now, most of the time, you don't want to put your OLAP analytics over the top of a relational database, but the DDBMS, the distributed management system, then allows that. It also allows you to have a good database recovery system, because if you have one centralized manager of the data in the distributed database management system, you can easily create a recovery plan that lays off the data off-site to a warehouse type of system. And then, of course, it supports multiple application software, like I illustrated with Oracle versus SQL Server. So some of the advantages that you have when you encounter the need or the desire for a distributed system is that it can be developed in modules. You can develop the sales part of the system, you can develop the manufacturing part of the system, and then link them together. It tends to be more reliable if you don't have to have the entire system in all of your locations, where you can just have the modular piece of the system in various locations. A lot of times where you don't have to have those databases all in one central location, you can be able to create a better response time, because the different sites will access their own local data, and then the distributed database management system will then make sure that that data is synced up with all the other places in the company that need it. And then the biggest, one of the big concerns is, of course, it lowers your cost if you could just connect all the current database systems rather than trying to combine them all in one system and have the satellites then access that central repository. Now, part of the challenges that come with distributed database systems is they tend to be very complex. The distributed database management system software itself has to manage or be capable of managing different database schemas, different database products, and that can end up becoming fairly complex. There is a bit of processing overhead that comes along with it, and as your data is updating across different sites, there can be a data integrity problem, at least for a few moments while the database is syncing up. So there are challenges with a distributed database management system, and frankly, we have on the horizon right now the probability that distributed database management systems may, in a lot of cases, be replaced by blockchain management systems and their ability to have smart contracts for the various sites and locations that need different information to be put on the blockchain. But that's another course. I also teach that course, so if you can get enrolled in one of those courses, that would be good too. And I have many YouTube videos on blockchain as well. So if you've enjoyed this video, please comment, and please also subscribe to the channel so that we can grow it and more people can enjoy the benefits of hearing about this wonderful technology. Thank you.